I know who my enemy is. And I know he's watching us now. And you're just his slave. And I'm just an insignificant girl.
Hi, moviezentre here. It all starts in the shadow of that glittering paradise floating high above the ruins. Zolum, the sky city where the elite hoard their secrets like buried treasure. Down here in the grimy underbelly of Iron City, a year into the 2560s, the air reeks of rust and forgotten dreams. The healer, that kind-eyed tinkerer with a limp and a haunted gaze, picks through the endless junk piles of a massive scrapyard, a graveyard of twisted metal limbs and shattered hulls from the big war centuries ago. His scanner beeps like a heartbeat in the fog, zeroing in on something miraculous. A lone, intact brain core, pulsing with faint life amid the debris. It's me, or what's left of me, tossed away like scrap after some brutal clash with sky invaders. He hauls me back to his cluttered workshop, a dimly lit lair crammed with whirring tools, flickering holograms, and jars of glowing fluids. With steady hands scarred from too many fixes, he grafts my core into a fresh, petite frame. Slender limbs of sleek alloy, big expressive eyes that mirror the lost girl he once had. He whispers a name to the empty shell. Something soft like a prayer. That's the first spark of who I'll become. Light floods in, harsh and unfamiliar, as my systems boot up in that same workshop. Tubes snake across my vision like veins, and I flex fingers that feel too light, too perfect. Panic hits. Where am I? Who am I? The healer kneels beside me, his face creased with fatherly worry, explaining the basics. I'm alive, rebuilt from the junk, but my memories? Gone, wiped clean like a corrupted data chip. He calls me by that name he chose, but it doesn't stick yet. I stumble out into Iron City's bustling streets, a neon-soaked maze of hovering bikes, street vendors hawking cybernetic upgrades, and towering factories belching smoke. That's when I spot him. My companion, the scrappy dreamer with tousled hair and a lopsided grin. Our eyes lock across the crowd. He waves me over, curious about the new girl wandering lost. We chat by a food stall. He spins tales of adventure, his voice warm against the cold wind, and points skyward. Zolum's the prize, he says, where the real heists happen, fortunes made in the clouds. Something clicks. I feel a pull like unfinished business up there. Later, my companion drags me to a dingy overlook, the city sprawling below like a mechanical beast.
Really cool.
He confesses his side gig, salvaging parts from downed hunters to fund his Zolum ticket, but swears it's clean. We share a quiet moment, his hand brushing mine, electric against my synthetic skin. Night falls heavy over Iron City's labyrinthine alleys, rain slicking the cobblestones as I tail the healer from the clinic's glowing doorway. He's not just mending folks. He's hunting bounties, slipping into shadowy backstreets where deals go down in whispers. I perch on a fire escape, optics zooming through the drizzle when they hit. A pack of hulking killerbots, claws gleaming under sodium lamps, led by the hulking beast, all jagged edges and glowing red slits for eyes. They corner him in a derelict warehouse, crates of rusted gears toppling like dominoes in the scuffle. The healer fights fierce, his augmented arm whirring as he blasts one assailant with a plasma pistol. But they're too many. I drop in like a storm. Instinct takes over, my body moving in fluid arcs I don't understand. The beast lunges, his massive blade whistling past my ear. I counter with a spinning kick that dents his armor, forcing him back into the shadows. The healer's pinned, blood, real blood, seeping from a gash, but I hold the line until the pack scatters. We limp home, the clinic's autodoc stitching him up under sterile lights, and he spills it. He's a bounty hunter for the factory overlords, chasing leads on sky spies. That fight. It unlocked a fragment. Panzerkunst, they call it, a forbidden martial art for war machines like me. Across town, in the factory's sterile labs, vast halls of conveyor belts churning out hunter gear, lit by harsh fluorescence. The beast licks his wounds on an operating slab. The surgeon hovers over him, her face a mask of calculated fury, tools whirring as she grafts fresh blades onto his frame at the schemer's orders. The schemer, that oily mogul with a perpetual smirk and rings on fingers heavy as vices, lounges in his penthouse office overlooking the motorball pitch, holograms of Zolum shipments flickering on walls. "Finish her," he growls, eyes on profit margins. The surgeon hesitates, old loyalties to the healer tugging, but complies, her hands steady as she upgrades the beast into a nightmare of retractable spikes. Me. Back in the clinic, I press the healer for truths. He dodges, but I sneak out to the scrapyard alone, wind howling through derelict cranes. There, buried under a collapsed freighter hull, I unearth it. My true shell, a ferocious berserker body, hulking pauldrons, razor-edged limbs, etched with battle scars from the Sky Wars. It sings to me, memories flickering like static. I was one of them, a frontline killer for the enemy above.
No.
Rage bubbles, why hide it? The healer refuses the swap, his voice cracking. "You're more than a weapon." It breaks something in us. This clash under the workshop's dim bulbs. Defiant, I storm the Hunter-Warrior Guild Hall, a boisterous dive called Kansas Bar, walls scarred from brawls, air thick with oil smoke and ale fumes. I slap my core print on the registry pad. Optic scanning wanted posters. The beast tops the list, bounty fat enough for a Zolum lift. My companion tags along, uneasy but supportive, his hand on my shoulder as we pitch the takedown to a table of roughnecks. The brute, a smug enforcer with a face like hammered tin, laughs, taunting my dull frame. Words turn to blows. I dodge his haymaker, flip him over a bar stool, and pin him with a knee to the throat, the crowd erupting in cheers and jeers. Chaos explodes. Chairs splinter, fists and blades fly in a whirlwind of grunts and crashes. The healer bursts in, barking orders, just as the upgraded beast crashes through the skylight, glass raining like deadly confetti. He roars my name, challenging me to single combat in the street outside, under the factory's looming shadow. The schemer's pulling strings from above, whispering to his phantom boss in Zolum. Eliminate the anomaly. The duel erupts on rain-slicked pavement, thunder rumbling as the beast charges, his new arms unfolding like scythes. I weave through his slashes, Panzerkunst flowing, a parry here, a counterstrike that shears his pauldron. Sparks illuminate the alley's graffiti walls, puddles shattering under our steps. His blade gashes my torso, oil spraying as warnings blare in my HUD. I fight dirty, gouging his optics, but he overpowers, ripping limbs free in a spray of hydraulics. The healer and my companion rush in with the dogmaster, a feral handler with cyberhounds snapping at heels, forcing the beast to slink away, howling curses. Collapsed in the healer's arms, my frame a mangled wreck on the clinic table, I whisper apologies. He softens, eyes misty. "You fought like her, like you." In the dead of night, as autosurgeons were, he makes the call, transplants me into the berserker shell. Power surges. I rise taller, deadlier, pauldrons flexing under the workshop lights. Reborn. My companion and I steal moments in Iron City's hidden parks, overgrown lots with bioluminescent vines twisting through chain link, stars peeking past Zolum's underglow. Kisses taste of promise, his warmth grounding my cold steel. I vow to win his way up, no matter the cost. Dawn breaks on the motorball tryouts. A colossal stadium pulsing with crowd roar, tracks looping like veins around the factory spire. I lace up rollerblades that hum to life, joining a pack of hopefuls, hulking bruisers and sleek speedsters, chasing the orb in a frenzy of dodges and pileups. Blades screech on rails, bodies vaulting barriers. I glide like wind, smashing rivals aside with empowered swings, the orb in my grasp as cheers shake the stands. But alarms blare. My companion's in trouble. He ditched the salvage life, confronting his old fence in a foggy warehouse, only for the brute to ambush. Plasma bolts searing through his chest. Framed for the kill. He bolts into the sewers, pipes dripping condensation, voice echoing over comms. Help me! I ditch the race, blades shredding turf as I tear through undercity tunnels. Dank warrens of leaking mains and flickering emergency lights. Gunfire echoes. I burst in to find him cornered, the brute's boot on his throat. A shot rings out. My companion crumples, red blooming on concrete. The surgeon appears like a ghost, her kit spilling tools. In a haze of screams, she severs his head, wiring it to my backplate's life support, vitals stabilizing in a frantic beep. The brute sneers, blade raised. I snatch it mid-swing, Damascus steel singing as I carve his smug face to ruin, optics shattering in a pop of sparks. We flee to the clinic, the healer working miracles under surgical lamps, grafting my companion's head to a donor frame scavenged from the yard. Truths tumble out, the schemers lie. No grounder climbs to Zolum without motorball glory. Rage ignites. I storm his tower, elevators humming past luxury suites to his opulent den, city lights twinkling below. The schemer lounges in velvet, holograms of organ trades flickering, the surgeon's body, harvested for parts, tubes snaking from her pale form on a slab. He summons the beast one last time, a final upgrade gleaming. We clash amid penthouse pillars, my berserker might overwhelming. I shatter his arms, crush his core in a vice of fury. His screams cut short as he crumples. Blind with wrath, I impale the schemer on his own desk spike, blood pooling on marble as the feed cuts. The healer's call crackles over comms. My companion's awake, but driven mad by half-truths. He's scaling the cargo tube. A massive umbilical snaking from factory docks to Zolum's belly, winds howling at vertigo heights. I rocket up on a hoverbike, rain lashing as I match his climb. Hands raw on rung after rung. Come back. I plead, our faces inches apart amid creaking cables. He wavers, smiles through tears. You made me believe, but the enemy's trap springs. Razor rings whirl down the tube like buzzsaws, shredding his new frame in gouts of sparks and fluid. He plummets, my grip straining on his arm, muscles screaming against the void. I love you, he gasps, slipping free into the abyss. I scream into the storm, the city a blur far below. Months blur in training montages. The stadiums roar my new heartbeat. Motorball circuits where I dominate. Blades a whirlwind, rivals falling like dominoes. Scars fade, but the fire doesn't. Each win a step toward payback. Under floodlights, orb in hand, I pause at the finish. Damascus sword raised to the heavens. Optics locked on Zolum's spire. There, in a chamber of ethereal blues, the enemy smirks from his throne, our war just beginning. And that was Alita Battle Angel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more recaps.